So today, if you're trying to get your Zoom downloads to go from looking like this to something like this, then you definitely want to stay tuned and follow some of my tips in this video. So first things first, size is important here. Now, the video that I downloaded from Zoom is a 1280 by 720. If your video that you have downloaded is larger than this, then you want to make sure your blank canvas that you start with is the same size of the video. So here I am, just choosing a random image just for the sake of this, example. So I'm going to make it a flower like Zoom cover. So first things first, you want to stretch it out, make sure it fits the blank canvas. Again, numbers are important. The size of this image is important. So I resize it, making sure that I perfectly put this on here, and that is 720 by the 1280, and I lock each layer. You see the lock at the top right under publish? It's locked. That means when I put something on top of it, I won't have to worry about moving it out of place. Now, if you know how to use Photoshop, this definitely is the same thing you can do in Photoshop, but it also would be easier. So here I am. I uploaded a screen grab of my actual video so that I can get an idea of where my people are placed. I'll resize this so it could be the exact size of this image, and then I actually double check and I make sure that I crop so that each image is basically being used as a stencil. You understand what I'm saying? So this is being used as a stencil so that I can get an idea of exactly where my video would be if I was to put this Zoom cover on top of a video. So I know where my space is. I'm cropping this image out. You can say this is probably like the left person or the right person. Now I chose to completely transparent out the complete center, but this is a basically an artistic decision right here. You can make these squares. You want to make the height this right height, but you can make the side panels shorter or longer depending how much you want them to go in. You just want to make sure it's the same size on both. You don't want one square to be small, the other square to be wide. You want to definitely pay attention to those numbers when resizing. So here I see that my center is, this is about my center space. So what I do here, I just go to the shape, look for the shapes. You see the left panel. I just find a random shape and I make sure that shape is exactly the same size as the crop image. And you want to follow, see how this right here, it turned exactly like blue so it can know that I'm on the right line, and I edged it up with it perfectly. So I know that this full center is the size of the image. I know that it's, 1280, but it's no longer 720. It's probably a little bit less than that. So I go ahead and download this image because now this image is about to get saved to my desktop. And as it's saving to my desktop, what we're going to do real quick and open up Premiere. And then what I'm going to do is upload all my images in there. So you got the image in there and you got my video in there. And then you kind of got like an example. So here, I'm going to go ahead and open the image off my desktop. Now this is where, if you know Photoshop, it might be easier. Because in Photoshop, you can literally make out perfect squares and decide that you want that to be transparent and maybe even leave a little bit of the yellow around the borders of the video. But here, I'm just going to do this quick and easy right on my desktop. So I don't know what that tool is called, but it's the second tool in the top left corner. When everything that turns orange turns into transparent. So updated there. So now it's updated here in Premiere. You can do this before you upload it into Premiere, or you could do it after you upload it into Premiere. So next step, throw everything on your timeline. So here I'm going to show you what not to do and what actually is supposed to be done. Now, some main tips here is you definitely want to make sure that the space for your video fits perfectly into your transparent space. So here you can see my video in the background and it's fitting perfectly through the space. Now, this video I took on Zoom is an example of your speaker view and your gallery view. This is the view that you want. You can perfectly see the person on the left and you can perfectly see the person on the right. Now, if you wanted to make a little space in between, you can do that. Again, this is a creative decision, so you can make it straight across the middle or you can separate it. So I'm just going through to kind of show you it won't work if you do it in a gallery view. This only works when you put it in a speaker view, because speaker view puts everybody on the front screen. Now, if you want to try to do this with a 3-person or a 4-person setup, then you need to make sure that you actually do a screen grab of that 3-person setup, and then you make your Zoom cover the exact size for a 3-person setup. So this only works for a 2-person setup. If you guys want to see me make one for a 3-person setup, let me know. I can easily do it that way too. But this specifically is for a 3-person setup. Now, if you try to stretch it out, you could probably squeeze in a 3-person setup. But if you do, you will still have these black spaces. And that's what we don't want. I would love to see the flowers right there, or up my, Zoom cover showing out right there. So this is only for a 2-person back and forth cover up. So I'm going to make a few more videos like this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget, you can follow me on all social media. The links are in the info box. And thank you for watching.